Welcome back, friends. Beautiful Friday morning here in northern New Mexico, and as always, I'm back at it again, sitting right outside of a garage sale here in the big city that I like to source from. Follow along and I'll share with you everything I find to resell online. How much you want on the jacket?
Janae! Janae! How much you want for the jacket?
Dollar for that? Okay. All right, University of Oregon jacket, just $1. Doesn't have a real great logo hit on the back, not the most powerful brand, but for $1, grab it. How much footage I actually captured. We got this Spider jacket, not the greatest brand, but it is new with tags, $1. And then this used University of Oregon jacket. It's kind of lightweight, but it's got a nice heather gray color to it. It's not in bad shape, $1. Then also got me 3 wife beaters just in the black colorway for myself in my size, 25 cents a piece. They were brand new. How much you want on your Harley cap, dude?
About $2.
$2.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate the deal. Good luck with your sale, too.
Thank you. Here. Just a bunch.
Just a bunch of stuff to get rid of, right? $2 for this bad boy. It doesn't have the tags on it, but it still has the cardboard little forehead brim protector, so it doesn't look like it has been used. I'll sell it new without tags. So just doing like I normally do, I'm trolling around 2 of the most heavily populated areas in the big city that neighbors where I live, trying to find those deals. I like to find hyper concentrated areas of where people live in more rich, wealthy, affluent neighborhoods and go from there. Unfortunately, this morning being Friday, it's being a little inconsistent out here, and we may have already met the peak of the garage sale season. My experience with garage selling is generally that when we hit those summer months and it hits midsummer, we can usually bet that there are going to be a lot of garage sales. But as we tail off, as we get closer to the school year starting, there generally is a decrease in the volume or frequency of garage sales, I find, especially on Fridays. And that seemed to be the case last Friday. This Friday seems to be the same thing. Now, that's not to say tomorrow's not going to be a home run or a banger of a day. I hope it is. I've had some really great Saturdays for about a month straight. But again, just knowing what your market is like is really imperative. It's key, especially if you live in a smaller market. And as I always say, I don't have the benefit of a million thrift stores to source from. And thrifting in my area, there's a lot of pressure and it can be very expensive. So garage sales for me is how I save a lot of money on my cost of goods. How much you want for the little lizard?
Couple bucks.
I could do that.
Okay.
Got this RVCA quilted hooded jacket. It's kind of a combo between a vest with sleeves and a hood sewed in. $2. So pretty slow out here today, which has kind of been the case the last several Fridays, and just want to be grateful though for the bread and butter items I continue to find. I'm happy with that. As much as I would love a home run once a week or once every few days, and while it has been a while since I've found something really worth a lot and I've paid very little for, just being grateful for always having sales is imperative. Remembering that I'm living the dream I once wish I had a few years ago, and just being realistic that there's good and bad times with reselling. Found some great deals in the last month. Haven't sold a whole lot. This is the summer slowdown, but I am hoping for better in August. The last few Augusts, I've done better than any other month out of the summer. So I'm definitely hoping as we move towards Q4, that'll be the case. What you guys want on the vest?
$2.
Okay, I can handle that. What are y'all doing on shoes? On the which ones it is? Okay. What about on these here, ma'am?
$3 on the shoes.
Okay. How about sandals?
$3. $5. That's right.
About on these here, ma'am.
That's $3 on the shoes.
Okay. About sandals.
$3. That was $5. That's right here.
Okay. How about on your boots, ma'am?
That one, he's asking for 10.
10 on those?
They're the Nike.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. Would you guys take 8 on the boots?
Yeah, I can take 8.
Okay, thank you. All right, here's the rundown. I got these Nike SB tactical boots. I did pay $8 for them, but I looked up the sell-through rate. They had a really great sell-through rate. It was a little skewed because it was between 2 different series of boots, but the numbers were there. They looked good enough, and I figured if I could get a couple dollars off of these, I would be able to make some money. And then I got some Merrell new with tags water shoes, and then some Keen H2 Newport water sandals. That's a bread and butter. And then these Keen Elsa shoes do good for me. They're definitely gonna need cleaned up, but these things sell really well, and I've really backed off buying a lot of Keen shoes. But between these water sandals and then these Elsa tennis shoes or sneakers, I do really, really good. And then probably the best find of the day so far, $2 Carhartt vest. It's in great shape, it's a good size. Love me some Carhartt. Find your brand and just go nuts with it, especially if you can find it prevalently in your area. Well, nothing at that one, which is too bad because the seller is somebody I bought from in the last few summers, and she always hooks it up. Had a lot of stuff, just nothing I was really interested in, but did get to run into my good friend Lee, who's a fellow reseller. He had a sweet Aussie concert tee on, and he was telling me that he was meeting up with a collector, I think he said tomorrow, and is probably gonna buy a whole lot of concert tees from the 90s. Said there was some Aussie ones, so I thought that was really cool. I like to be good friends with fellow resellers. I think that there's enough of this stuff to go around, and I just believe that helping each other out is where it's at. I know not everybody looks at it that way. It's a dog world, and that's not to say I'm telling everybody where I find my stuff. I'm actually telling the whole world that by having this content creation channel, but it just doesn't hurt to be friendly to people. You never know what deal they may put you on. Maybe it's something that they're not into reselling or something they don't care to buy, but you do, and I've had that happen to me several times. So I try to get an idea of what people are into, what they're sourcing, and I look out for them, and I hope they do the same for me. All right, so was out on the scene, got a phone call from my buddy, my partner in crime, who actually found a storage shelf at a garage sale. But I already found that shelf this morning, and the sellers wanted a little bit more for it than I wanted to pay considering its size, and it was a little bit dusty. So I kind of mulled it over and just thought I'd come back, but he called me just minutes ago and said they only wanted $5 for it. I wasn't far from the sale, so I decided just to go ahead and double back over here. I'm glad to pay him $5. Most of my clothing racks, most of my storage shelves I've bought at garage sales, and you just can't beat that kind of pricing. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what these folks want for it, and we'll go from there.
Mom's house now.
All right, I got this for $5. Visited with the seller again this morning. He was cool. He apologized for not offering me a better price earlier this morning, which I couldn't fault him for wanting to get a premium out of his goods very first day of the garage sale. But he was cool enough to offer me several other smaller shelves, and the shelf he had was actually bigger and not out this morning. So I'm glad for my friend calling me and letting me know that they wanted a deal on it, because that's a bigger shelf for much cheaper than the other one. The seller did, however, tell me that if the other 2 smaller shelves are available tomorrow, he'll crack me a killer deal. He just doesn't want to load them up or have to take them to the dump, and they just need a little bit of dusting. But the smaller shelves are easily $30 at Walmart, and the shelf I just bought from him for $5, despite being a little bit dirty itself, is like a $48 shelf at Walmart. So you can save so much money as long as you're willing to clean something, polish it up, And that's just the name of the game. Keep your costs down, whether it be equipment, the goods you sell, your supplies. Try your best at that. That's how I run this game. All right, being it's Friday, there's just not the volume of garage sales out I'd like to see. And it is late morning, so I feel like I've tapped out my good trolling area that has the most concentration of community as well as sales. So I've worked myself out to the edge of town where I have to drive a little bit more to get to garage sales, but I just pulled up to one. It's pretty close heavy. There are several other people here looking to buy, so I better jump out real quick and get on it. Well, a bust on that one. Not a whole lot of that sale. A lot of kids' clothes, a lot of junk, kitchen items, trinkets, junk. Did you guys take 15 on this?
You could do 20.
Okay, let me look around. I might do it.
All right.
Looks like it's in good shape.
Yeah, just dirty.
Okay. Grinding harder than a molcajete. Hey, brother, I'll take it. Thanks for the deal,
Alrighty.
man.
Thank you.
Did it. I had picked up this Petmate doghouse. I'd offered 15. He countered to 20. I can usually sell these for like 60 to 80 bucks, especially when the cold weather comes in or the monsoon rain season. So I'll do a Facebook marketplace sale, and I haven't been doing enough big stuff lately, but I always remind people that's how I broke out selling online. I was doing Craigslist, Facebook marketplace, furniture, snowboards, sporting equipment, and a lot of doghouses. So try not to get too far away from my roots. All right, so broke this bad boy down. That's how we do it. And hopefully I can make me maybe around 70 bucks for this. So I made the executive decision to go ahead and dip out of the big city. Everything was just kind of slowing down. The numbers weren't there. And I made the crucial decision to not go home and to go ahead and make the big loop today. So I'm now in the smaller, more rural town of Bloomfield, New Mexico, which is about 15 minutes away from the big city where I normally source on Fridays and Saturdays. I haven't came into Bloomfield on a Friday or Saturday in several weeks now, and that's just basically because I've been getting my numbers done in the big city. And if you can get your numbers in one smaller location and not have to put the wear and tear on your vehicle and do all the searching, I suggest it. But when it is slower, don't be afraid to outsource, to go that mile, to go a little bit further. Sometimes I've struggled and then drove myself out to the edge of the earth and found a bunch of great stuff. So you just never know how it's going to be. But I am sitting right outside of a garage sale now. I'll take you along and share with you what I find. All right, so that was a fierce strikeout. I walk up, I'm looking around, and the lady quotes an outrageous price for some very old beat up furniture. So I just kind of glanced and then turned around and walked right back to the car. Generally, you can see the writing on the wall or sometimes hear it when you are smart enough to gauge the prices being given to other potential customers. And sometimes I'll use that as a measure to decide if I should make a certain offer. If I hear that the person is offering pretty low prices, then I'll jump on the deal. Maybe I'll counter offer to an even lower price. But sometimes when people are unrealistic, they just want gold for their junk. Those type of sales I tend to walk from unless it is gold or platinum or diamond. So I finally found it, kind of obscure area. Did quite a bit of driving, and I don't know, not looking too promising. We'll hope for the best. All right, I think this is first edition, so I might grab it. All right, this is a vintage Connect set. It doesn't look like it's ever been opened. I'm gonna see if I can lift it for the right price. How much you guys got on the Connects?
Just $1.
$1? Okay. How much you guys want on the Z coils?
$1.
$1. Okay. Yeah, that'd be good. I got some PlayStation stuff over there, Phil. Some video games. So I was starting to wonder if I was going to find anything worthy of the grab, but I got this first edition Stephen King It hardback, and I think I could probably get mid-20s for it, maybe a little bit more. Glad I found it. Only gave 50 cents for it. Got some Z-Coil men's boots for $1, and I apologize, the light's kind of heavy right now. Got this Connects playset. This is still new and unopened from 1994. The box is beat up, but I looked it up, and one of these sold for $45. And then down here, picked up a little Dune Buggy Avon bottle. I just collect these for my barber. He has a big stash of them, and I pick them up for nothing for him, just to collect them and help them out. Stopped at a garage sale right down the street from my house. Got this women's North Face vest for $5. And then got a Sims fleece zip-up jacket. It's got a lot of dog hair on it, but I'm good with that because Sims outerwear does good for me. Also paid $5. It's a neighbor, so I didn't really want to haggle. She's good to me and she's a good lady. All right, friends, here's the haul for today. So total I spent was $68 on 21 items. Now I'm going to go ahead and remind you though that I spent $20 alone on the doghouse, and I also spent $5 on a shelf, to which I need to go back and pick up here in just several minutes when I wind this video down. So really, all things being said, I truly spent more like $43, I believe, and it was more like 19 items. And if I break that down, that means I spent an average of $2.26 per item. I'm good with that. Now, several of these items are just gonna go right to the winter death pile. I'm gonna jump off here and share with you my haul. All right, gonna swing this thing off with these Z-Coil boots. Now, I've sold several pairs of Z-Coil shoes and boots in the past. I've sold this exact model 2 different times in the last year, and both of those pair were in rough shape, so this pair is a little bit nicer. They still do have some wear, and I'll have to note that. I'm thinking off the top of my head, probably $38 to $45 maybe. It might be a little bit less than that. Just depends on how patient I want to be and how good I can clean them up. Now, these Keen Elsas are always a solid seller, and these will be nice to sell as we head into fall because they are flannel print. These generally sell in the mid-30s. I'll tack on some shipping. I'll be good with that. I'll use keywords like comfort, original, summer, orthotic, fall, buffalo plaid, flannel, you name it. And then here I did pay up for this pair of shoes. I paid the most for this pair of boots than any other pair of shoes today, but I felt like it was worth it, especially when I looked up the sell-through rate. The sell-through was skewed, as I said earlier in the video, as there was the older model as well as the newer model. But when I seen how many had sold versus how many were listed, I felt like it was a good investment. I think I got these for $8. I believe she wanted $10, and I think these could probably sell for somewhere in the mid-40s, maybe even a little bit more. Definitely gonna have to clean them up, but I'm good with that. Now, buy of the day was this Carhartt vest. One of these days I'm gonna keep one of these for myself. I just tend to move them because they move so quickly and they sell so good for me. But I just love duck canvas. Anything Carhartt moves, any type of knockoff canvas will also sell, whether it's Walls, Rasco, Lapco. Some of those other work utility brands are often still worth the grab for the right price. I will use keywords like oil filled, construction, Detroit, duck canvas, original, durable, USA, and Carhartt is just my babe. It's my homie. It is, again, my business partner. So if you can find a brand that you can find often in your area, as I said earlier in this video, go to town with it. So now this is a brand I find a lot in my area, but especially in the winter when I'm doing more thrifting up in southern Colorado, which is very near my house. And this is a North Face women's vest. I just picked this up right down the street. It was my last stop of the day. I think I was filming, but the battery on my phone went dead, so I'm not sure how much of it I captured. But nonetheless, I went ahead and gave $5 for this. At another garage sale that wasn't a neighbor's, I probably would have offered $3 or $4, but that's okay because this guy's still going to sell for mid 20s to maybe even the low 30s. It seems pretty clean, it's in good shape, and it is North Face, so I'm happy about that. Now, this little decorative cast iron lizard I picked up for a few dollars. I probably should have offered $1, but it was my first bid on any item at the garage sale, and it's the same garage sale I ended up getting a great shelf for $5. I could sell this, but it probably wouldn't sell for a whole heck of a lot, so I'll probably just screw it onto my deck or a cool piece of wood in my yard because I love decorative art from the Southwest. I'm a lizard wrangler, I'm a kid at heart, and I just love animals. So yeah, couldn't pass on it, too cool. Now, this piece here, Harley Davidson hat, doesn't have the tags on it, but as I think I said earlier in the video, it doesn't appear to have really been worn. I think it may have been tried on and probably just sat to the side. So I'll probably try to sell this new without tags, and what I'll get out of it, hard to say, maybe $17 to $23, I hope. And Harley moves for me. I don't sell a lot of Harley hats, but I definitely do some of their embroidered shirts. Their outerwear does good for me, and if you can pick up the leather jackets and not spend a fortune on them, I suggest grabbing them. This piece here I bought from a friend's daughter, just paid a few bucks for it, just an RVCA zip-up hoodie. Not gonna spend too much time on it. It's a nice piece. I'm hoping I could probably get low 20s for it. And then right above here is just a spider knit jacket. This is new with tags, and I think I gave her $1 or $2 for it. It was one of the early garage sales, but I made a cardinal mistake. I'm not crazy about Spider, but Spider does sell. I only pick it up if I can get it with tags though. The used Spider just doesn't move as well. I think Spider's like a running or cycling brand, but not something I'm gonna go out of my way to pay up for. But for that price, I couldn't pass on it. But the same person that sold me the Spider jacket sold me this University of Oregon jacket, and I do believe she gave this to me for $1. I made a cardinal mistake, and this is my humility, so please learn from it. Check the zippers on jackets when you buy them, regardless of what you pay. I got excited about this. I really wasn't planning on buying it, but when she told me the price, I decided, what the heck, I haven't picked up enough jackets for going into the winter. So I grabbed it, got home, checked the zipper just now. Gonna have to throw that away or just maybe wear it for myself, or maybe just give it to some homeless person. That's probably the best bet for it. But neighbor just sold me this Sims fleece jacket. She only wanted $5. Again, had it not been a neighbor, I probably would have offered 3 or 4. Does have a lot of dog hair on it, but it doesn't appear to be that old. So hard to say what this guy will sell for. Have to do a little research. My guess though, upper 20s, maybe mid 30s. Sims outerwear still does very good for me, but I'm not as crazy about buying their fishing shirts or waders. Waders do good, but their fishing shirts and pants just kind of seem to have fallen off. So bread and butter buy-in right here, just some Keen H2 Newport sandals. I'm gonna have to hit these with some detergent, wash them up, let them get cleaned up, and then I'll probably sell them for upper 20s to low 30s. I sell the heck out of these. We are moving away from summer though, so items like this need to get listed. And then this was a good score here. These are some Merrell water shoes. These are new with tag on. Generally when I sell a newer item with tag on though, I'm really just hoping to get probably 60 to 70% of the retail value. I never can sell an item for exactly what that retail brand new price tag says on it. That's why people come to eBay. They want new and used for a better price. And so I'm good with that. I only gave $5 for these, and I believe I helped bring the price down on these and something else by $1 or $2 by just bundling. So use the art of the bundle. I suggest it. I'm winding it down here. Just some of the last stuff I picked up today. None of this was really all that much money. The first edition Stephen King hardback, I think I could probably get somewhere between $25 to $35 for it. I checked comps. A lot of these had sold even with rougher condition. And I don't do a lot of media, but if I do, it's generally someone like Stephen King or maybe one of the more classic literary greats like Hemingway, Steinbeck. All those guys I do good on, and media you can often pick up for little to nothing. So I gave 50 cents for this guy. Now down below the Stephen King It book is just a Pyrex lid. Gave a quarter for that. It's hard to say what that's worth. I probably can sell it for $10 to $12, but if I pay 25 cents for something and I can sell it for $12, that's always profit. And I come into little pieces like that a lot. There's probably some little granny who broke hers looking for that replacement piece across the country, and she'll pay me a premium. Now, the Connect set was a cool find. I like vintage toys. I went ahead and looked it up. It is a box that's pretty beat up, but it's never been opened. Still has the original price tag of like $14 on it. This item is from 1994. There was one that had sold new with box and had not been opened for $45, and I think I gave like 50 cents for it or something like that, $1, I can't remember exactly. But if I can move that, even if it takes some time to sell and I can at least sell it for 25, 30 bucks, that's a great profit. Now, last 2 items, just a couple items for me and a friend. My barber, who's just a great dude. He's been cutting my hair for years. We played sports against each other for many years, wrestling, football. Just a great, big-hearted dude. He collects a lot of cool old Barbara memorabilia, and so I've been slowly collecting Avon bottles, just funky, cool ones I can come across for a good deal. Gave $1 for this dune buggy. I figured he'd get a kick out of it. And then lastly, I'm a sucker for anything that's got a skeleton or a skull on it, and it's simple. I'm big on the old Latin saying memento mori, which simply means you will die someday. And so I'm gonna finish by saying that life is very short, and big reason I am doing this, the big reason I created my YouTube channel and got into reselling and started my own small business, is that I had worked in a field where I realized that life is extremely short, and if we don't jump on opportunities, they'll pass us by. If you're not out there living your best life, chasing those dreams, you're probably just making somebody else's dream come true, and that's not where I wanted to be after doing that for almost 20 years in my adult life. Now that I've started reselling, now that my YouTube channel has gotten monetized, my life has only changed for the better. So I hope that this encouragement inspires somebody like me out there to ask for more from life, and that you're not afraid to go out there and get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. As always, if you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe.